Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining our July monthly construction and traffic impacts webinar. We truly appreciate your time today. My name is Wendy Thompson, and I'm part of the Streetcar team. My main focus is to ensure you're well informed about the Streetcar project, particularly any changes that could affect your daily commute or neighborhood. Please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns. We know that construction and traffic can impact your daily routine, and our goal today is to provide proactively clear and timely information. We're here to walk you through the latest developments, and we encourage you to ask questions at any point. I'd like to introduce you to the team who will be sharing information and answering your questions today. We have Steve Jensen, Deputy Chief of Staff for Economic Development in the Mayor's Office and Omaha Streetcar Authority Board Member, Megan Walter, MUD Customer Engagement Manager, Mike True, Omaha Public Works Department and the Streetcar Project Manager, and Steve Rue, Omaha Public Works Department, Capital Construction and Street Maintenance Engineer. Now I'd like to turn it over to Steve Jensen.
Thanks, Wendy. So today we will be talking about work zone safety reminders. We'll talk about the schedule overview. We'll also have a description of the work that's going on with MUD and the gas relocation. We'll also talk about vehicle maintenance facility and the West utility package, the I-480 bridge work that is underway, the East utility package that is now been approved, Turner Boulevard utility package that is out on the street, the business support efforts that we have underway, and Wendy will talk about some of the construction communications, and we'll open it up for question and answer. So first, with the work zone safety reminders, we want to remind everyone in that corridor and who is traveling through the corridor to stay alert. There's a lot of work that's going on, so try to put down your cell phone and don't be eating and drinking and listening to the radio, and pay attention to what's going on in the work zone, because we have workers there and we want to keep them safe. We also will have detours periodically for both pedestrians, cyclists, and also for traffic. So watch out for those. Try to stay out of the work zones. We've got cones up and places where we're trying to restrict access. So we're hoping that people don't walk or bike or drive or park in those work zones. And then also be courteous to other road users and construction workers. As far as the construction schedule, we have completed the work in Lot A with regard to the relocation of the entry drive and utility work that went on there. So that construction is complete. We are in the process of continuing to complete the work in the utilities west package that goes from Turner Boulevard west to 40th Street. Steve Rue and Mike True will be talking about some of the work then in the utilities west package. Also, they will be discussing what we're doing in the interstate bridge work. Work continues on the Harney Street Bridge. Steve's going to provide more detail on this call. We are also working on the vehicle maintenance facility. Sampson Construction is the work is underway there. Mike True will provide an update on that project. The utilities east package, which is basically I-480 to 8th Street, work is beginning and scheduled for completion at the end of December in 26. The Turner Boulevard sewer improvement work is out to bid. Bids are due back in August. Work is scheduled to run from late 2025 through 26. Mainline construction will begin in early 26 and run through 27. There's also ongoing MUD gas relocation work throughout this period and should be wrapped up at the end of this year. And then ongoing communications and fiber utility relocation work is also underway and will continue through the rest of this year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Megan to discuss the MUD work. So Megan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The current MUD construction crew has completed work at 19th and Harney Street, and has returned to 14th Street, where they will continue installing the new main heading west towards 15th. New lane restrictions will be implemented in the area next week. MED is also continuing efforts to work with customers to relocate gas meters to the exterior of buildings for safety purposes. MED has recently added a second crew to support gas relocation efforts related to the streetcar project. This crew is currently working at 20th and Farnham as shown on the project slide, labeled as A. A temporary gas shutdown will be necessary, and we will work with all impacted customers. As of now, once work at 20th and Farnham is complete, the plan is for work to continue through the Phase 5 area, focusing primarily on work at various intersections, but that is subject to change. For safety reasons, pedestrians should use caution where holes have been dug and vehicles should slow down in construction areas. Thank you, everyone. I'll turn it over to Mike True.
Thank you, Megan. Here's a picture of the vehicle maintenance facility. As you can see, foundations are going in. They've essentially, all the deep foundations piles have been driven now for the main site. Work is progressing along. If any of you go in and around the area, do be cautious. If you come down to Mecca Lot A for the CHI Center, there is its own access point there, but there's going to be a lot of construction down here because there are other sites going as well. VMF is on track to be ready to receive cars in early 2027. Thank you. Hand it over to Steve Rue.
Thanks, Mike. Yep, so I'm gonna talk about our West Utilities package here, and then we'll go on to the bridges. So here we're showing the entire West Utilities package, work zone that's active now. Phase 1, which is Turner to roughly 33rd Street, is nearing completion right now. So 33rd Street, we still have some active work going on there. We're waiting for some water main testing to be completed. I was told that we got completed tests or passing tests today. So we will get working on putting that intersection back today. Obviously we need to pour concrete and everything, so it'll probably take another week or so to get through that work. But we are progressing with that intersection, which is great. That was kind of the last thing that we were waiting for on Phase 1. The other thing that is going on, if you go down there right now, is the CIPP lining through Phase 1. So you'll see trucks down there and usually taking up one lane at a time, like big box trucks with some various equipment down in the manholes. They're placing a reinforced liner in those manholes that will kind of reinforce that system for the future. If during the course of that work, you will see steam coming out of the storm sewer or potentially out of manholes, there is a smell to it. I do not believe it smells like gas, but there is a unique smell to it. If you see those things or you smell those things, please do not call the fire department. We are aware of it. It is just due to the nature of the work that's occurring down there. If you saw something that you thought was really concerning, obviously, do what you feel is appropriate. But if it's in the area that we are working in and you see our crews down there working, it is in relation to how they have to essentially bake that liner in there, which creates some additional off-putting gases and smells and whatever. So just be aware of that if you're down there. I know when I was down there, there was a lot of steam coming out of the manholes. We had like a really cool, like Escape from New York look going on down there. But that's where we're at with that. So Phase 1, that's kind of where we're at. We have two-way traffic again. So we're going east and west from 33rd to Turner. Most of the on-street parking's been returned. You have access to all the parking garages. So we're really completing Phase 1 work there. We can move on to Phase 2. So this is kind of the current active work area, this Phase 2 West Utilities package. So much like what we had in Phase 1, we have westbound only traffic through this area. Almost all, if not all, of the on-street parking at this time has now been eliminated as crews are using that as staging areas, work areas, etc. So there's no parking as indicated on this slide through this area here. We do also have a closure of 36th Street, just south of Farnham, the north end of 36 between Harney and Farnham there is fully closed right now as we're doing some connection work that needs to occur right there. So Just be mindful of that. That's anticipated, I think, to go for another 3 weeks. So be mindful of that. We're kind of showing the other detours to get you around down there. So just if you're trying to get to the Cottonwood, if you're trying to get back east, depending on where you're trying to go down there, it's very similar to where we were at with phase one, just kind of looping around and through, but we have those detours shown on there. Let's see. Parking. Parking has been obviously a huge concern as we've gone through and done these multiple projects. So we did want to highlight again. So if you're back in phase one, we still have those 2 big parking garages between Turner and 33rd. Both of those have been open the whole time. They're still open. If you're going to phase two, we have the large parking garage that's between 37th and 38th. That's open right now. I think there's like 3,000 parking spots in there. So utilize that. And then we have constructed another. This is probably more useful for phase three, but it is available now. We've constructed another temporary lot just south of Farnham on 40th. It has about 30 spots in it. It's the on-street rate. So you get that rate if you park there. And we're just trying to make sure that there's parking options available and that you have access to the different activities that are still occurring through this area. You know, like Jazz on the Green, we're doing the movies that we'll talk about at the end of this. Some other things. So there is parking. There's on-street parking on either end of where the construction is. There's the parking garages available. So just make sure you're utilizing those if you're going down there. Let's see, moving on to the bridges. So the bridge work's going fantastic. Schedule's going great. Hawkins is doing a great job. So since we did the last webinar, things that have been complete, the girders have been set. The grade beams, which is kind of a tie-in piece between what I think a lot of people would consider to be the bridge and the street. That's been set. Those have been constructed. So we have that. We did some temporary lane restrictions overnight the last couple of weeks to get the stay-in-place decking on. So if you drive by now, again, I think I said this last time, but it's looking more and more, I think, what most people would recognize as a bridge. So we have that decking in place. So those will be the forms that we use when we go to actually pour the deck itself. So that's what those restrictions were for. We completed the electrical duct bank work at 28th and Harney. We started a lot of the utility work at 29th and Farnham. Obviously, 29th and Harney intersection, there's a lot of work going on there. So we're showing those closures that we have there. There's a number of detours available. I personally would suggest that you just utilize your phone, type in where you're going. We do a very good job of keeping the various map applications up to date, like to the minute if possible, in the event that there's closures. But personally, if I'm trying to go west out of downtown, I like Farnham to 24th to St. Mary's and get on there. I know Steve Jensen likes to go up to Dodge and utilize those interchanges there, but you have some different options. But it is heavily restricted through there right now. That work started right there at the end of June. Originally, this work in totality was supposed to be about 12 weeks of work. We have a number of concurrent things happening. So sanitary, storm, water main, some OPPD and Lumen duct banks, communication lines for the future streetcar, traffic signals. We've managed to kind of collectively get everyone to work together on this. And we think we have this closure down to about 8 weeks. So we're looking at this restriction here being lifted sometime in mid-August. We're looking at pouring the bridge deck those first 2 weeks of August. And then a lot of these restrictions would start to be alleviated after that. Thank you, Wendy. And I'll turn it back over to Mike. He's going to talk about the next 2 projects that we have coming up, next 2 packages.
Thank you, Steve. So the Utilities East package, this was bid out. We received a bid. Hawkins was the apparent low bidder and has been awarded this contract. It's broken out into a total of 7 different coloration phases on here. Those roughly correlate with different work zones and delineations of scope. For the general public's use, this is going to be somewhat similar to Utilities West, except that most of this area, except for 10th Street, will be part of that 2-way pair for Farnham and Harney. So the first work you'll see getting done is in and around the 10th to Capitol Ave to 8th Street to Farnham Loop. And then you'll also be starting to see here between 17th and 20th along Farnham and Harney some additional work being done in and around also where MUD some of their gas work is going. There's going to be some duct bank work going in. We're going to get an overall master schedule for this. This work is supposed to be substantially complete by the end of next year, and we'll be working with Hawkins to get a little bit more information out. We hope to probably won't be the next webinar. We'll be able to start breaking it down into more detailed sections, but we are going to have some outreach in September as well to also some of the other stakeholders, and hope to have something we can present in a little bit more detail. But Hawkins will be getting out there. You'll see it again at first within the next few weeks in and around the east end of it. And then also right here, kind of in the middle package, that'd be the darker red and lighter green on the bottom of it. There will always be one lane of traffic open in the one-way areas as they bounce around, but that may have to flip from side to side as they connect water lines back up, sewer lateral connections, and some of the power connections as well. All right. Next will be Turner. So this we haven't gotten any bids back on yet, but this is now out there. This is a very deep manhole. Turner Boulevard used to be Turner Creek. And if anyone's familiar with the Omaha area, think of Saddle Creek and how that was also a creek that turned into this. So we've somewhat tried to contain nature. There's several large sewers that connect in and around, particularly at Farnham and Turner Boulevard. The design work's complete. We're hoping to have construction begin real late Q3 or into more likely Q4, where you'll actually see them out there. The total work from Farnham into Harney will be completed by the fall of 2026. The main work that you'll see here at the surface will be 2 large manholes, the bigger of the 2 at the Farnham and Turner Boulevard, kind of in that little pork chop diamond there at the top. And then there's another one down at Harney. Otherwise, the remainder of the work will be creating a pipe sewer lining for the larger sewers that connect through here. And we'll hope to have a better update again here in the next few months. We're supposed to receive bids in the early part of August. Probably won't necessarily have a full update ready for you by the next August webinar, but we would hope by September to have a lot more detail. And that will lead us to business support and turn that over to Steve Jensen.
All right. Thanks, Mike. So with regard to business support, we've talked about this a little bit every month, but for those of you who are new, we understand all the difficulty that's caused by the construction. And there are a number of things that we are doing throughout this period that we've been doing during the Utilities West work. We'll continue to do that when we move into that Utilities East work. So here's kind of a quick list of the things that we have in progress and that we're working on in that area. First, from an overall communication standpoint, on the OSA website, omahastreetcar.org, you can find construction updates, an interactive map that shows up-to-date information by area, also frequently asked questions and answers to those. We have the weekly construction update email newsletter, so make sure you go online and sign up for that so you can get up-to-date information each week about what's happening with construction. We have these monthly construction update webinars. And then also Wendy Thompson, who you saw at the beginning of this presentation, is our contact in the corridor and is always available to answer questions if something comes up in between. From an accessibility standpoint in those construction zones, we'll continue to maintain at all times one-way traffic westbound through this Utilities West effort. Sidewalk access to businesses will be maintained. Delivery access and coordination for that is also maintained during construction. Outside the construction zones, we'll maintain two-way traffic along Farnham at all times. So you're seeing that coming back on Farnham Street between Turner and 33rd now that work is wrapping up. We also do directional traffic signage and pedestrian directional signs along the route to help people find their way through. From a parking standpoint, we'll maintain access to all the off-street parking in the construction zones. Where we're adding directional signage so people can find their way to that parking during construction. We'll maintain unobstructed on-street parking outside the construction zones. And the city's parking division will continue to work on their parking partners program so that we open as much of the area parking at night and on weekends as possible. The city's constructed that temporary lot that Steve mentioned on the northeast corner of 40th and Harney to add additional off-street parking during this construction period. We think that'll be particularly useful as that work progresses through the Farnham corridor and reaches that 39th to 40th Street area. We're also providing 2 hours of free parking, as Steve mentioned, at that new Blackstone parking garage. From a business promotion standpoint, we've added business advertising and support signage as this work takes place. Business wayfinding signage has been installed in Blackstone and Midtown Crossing. Banners and storefront window posters have been placed along the route. Business promotion and advertising has been added to the OSA Streetcar newsletter that comes out each week that I mentioned. The companies involved in the streetcar-related construction have sponsored 2 movie nights at Midtown Crossing. The first one was held in late June. The second one is going to be coming up here on July 11th. Yes, there it is. So we think that's an opportunity for people to get back to Midtown Crossing and begin to enjoy that wonderful venue. From a business financial assistance standpoint, the Chamber has a business support loan fund initiative that's close to being finalized for those businesses west of Turner Boulevard. We've had a meeting with property owners and managers in that area, and the Chamber is finalizing that program, hoping to roll that out in early August. So there are a number of things that we are doing in the area. And then from a communications standpoint, I'm going to turn it back over to Wendy to kind of fill you in on all the construction communications. Wendy?
Thank you, Steve. For those of for those of you new to our webinar series, we host this monthly session on the first Wednesday of every month at noon, with today being an exception with the holiday last week. We understand that this time doesn't work for everyone, so we record each webinar and post it on our website for you to watch at your convenience. Please note, you will need to register for each session to receive the new unique monthly link. If you're registered for this or any of the past webinars, we'll send you an email reminder before the next one so you don't miss signing up. Even if you can't attend live, we encourage you to still complete the registration form and ask questions you have. That way we can address them during the webinar and you'll still get the information you need when you watch the recording later. Looking ahead to next month, we'll be focusing on all of the construction projects, detailing planned work, schedule, and how it will impact the project as construction moves ahead. We know this is a complex project and communication is our priority. To keep you informed, we've developed some key resources. As Steve mentioned, first, a weekly email to inform you of the summaries of work, project progress, and milestones directly in your inbox. Please sign up on our website. Second, an interactive GIS map was developed to allow you to zoom in on your area to see specific project impacts. This map is frequently updated with the latest, most accurate information. We encourage you to share these resources with neighbors, colleagues, or anyone with questions about the project. Our team is here to help everyone navigate these changes. Please use our tools, ask your questions, and stay informed. Finally, if you have immediate concerns or would like more information from the project team, please contact me by phone or email. Now let's begin the Q&A session with questions that were sent in, but we haven't answered yet as we went through our presentation. Please continue to add questions about construction and traffic impacts to the Q&A box. So let's start with Mike True on the first question. When will the trees removed from Turner Park and along Farnham be replaced?
Depends upon exactly which trees. Turner Park, there is a design charrette we have set up with both the East Campus Realty, who runs Midtown Crossing, and then also with some of the other stakeholders in the area. And we'll be going through kind of what we want that canopy to look like. We'll also be working with our Parks Department because they'll be taking over the responsibility for those trees. don't have an exact timeline on that, but that's going. As far as the planting back of trees, that will occur after the mainline work has gone through. Some of those trees, all those trees were removed because there was some kind of upcoming work on them and in and around them that, might be damaging the root ball. We might actually have to go through the tree itself. So at the end of mainline, which is Kiewit's work, which begins in January, when they wrap up and as part of their final wrap up for landscaping, we will include planting back any trees then.
Thank you. Steve, I'm going to ask you a question about parking. Is there going to be additional parking spots along Turner and Harney? Where do people park to get on the streetcar with parking already being challenging near Turner Boulevard? And I'll flip to the map for you.
So as far as additional parking goes, especially in that exact location, obviously, I would anticipate most of the parking is going to occur in those two large parking garages that are there. There is not, as part of this project, going to be extensive additional on-street parking constructed, like in relation to the streetcar. I would really think if you're looking at this and you're looking at where the stops are, this is just me. If I was going down, I think most of the people, what you're going to see is they're going to park at one end or the other, very similar to what you would see when you go to Kansas City, when you go to St. Louis, when you go to Denver, when you go to other places that have facilities like this. People generally drive down, like I would do as a tourist or someone else wanting to go visit this area, park in the garage. So like in this case, probably there's like that 3,000 stall garage down there in the Blackstone district. Park there, utilize that stop, ride the streetcar around, do my thing, and then use that to leave. Similarly, I would think a lot of parking on the far east end would occur. People that want to attend the CHI Center, CWS, things like that, and then utilize those stops to use the streetcar. But to answer directly that question, no, we are not constructing a lot of additional on-street parking for this project. And that was kind of the larger intent at one point or another with all of the garages we've provided along this route.
Thank you. We had another question sent in about the procurement process for equipment, and we'll take care of that question offline and get that person that answer. And then we also had another comment sent in that we may need to follow up with. So is off-street parking free on Sundays? That I believe they mean the garages. I'm not sure if you guys know that answer.
I don't think it is. When I saw the question come in, I messaged our parking division. I haven't heard back yet. If someone from the parking division is on and would like to chat me really quick, that would be helpful. But I do not believe it is free on Sundays. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna swear to that, but I do not believe it is.
Is this the parking in the new
garages.
lot at the far west end?
No, they asked about off-street parking, so I would assume they would mean the garages. To my knowledge, I don't know what parking would be free on Sundays, but
I know some of these parking garages, particularly in Midtown, are having like the first 2 hours for free, but like the
Yes.
whole day,
Yeah.
no.
Yep. So if we can get an answer to that, Wendy, and we can distribute that answer to this person and then anybody else that has that question.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yep.
So with that, that's the end of our questions. We haven't had any more sent in. So a big thank you to everyone attending. We hope you found the information useful. We're eager to continue sharing updates next month. So please save the date for our next webinar on upcoming construction and traffic impacts. Enjoy the rest of your day.